tier options. Harif are going to be the final ban from Indonesia.
I think, yeah, I kind of know for a fact that Haris is also a signature hero coming from Turkey as well. But we know for a fact that both are the two heroes that has been banned off. If it is coming into a combo between Harith as well as Hylos, it's not really a good positioning for Team Indonesia as well. So there are possibility that Indonesia is reading alongside of not just the signature heroes of Turkey, but the strategy that will be put out by them.
Thinking about what Team Turkey will want to grab here, the Cho is still an option. Again, they need a fast clearing roamer that ideally has a little bit of reliable crowd control as well, since they don't really have a way of locking down the Lancelot. And well, that does fit the build. Kaja gonna be locked in by Turkey.
I like the fact that Kaja, it is kind of a pick-off hero, can be able to actually drag off with the skill itself. So the possibility of Turkey trying to actually maybe separate either one of the heroes from Indonesia as well. Even though it's not going to be easy, because we talked about how Lancelot, escape mechanism with Puncher, as much as possible, he will be able to flee away as quickly. So this is the question is, Turkey, who you want to grab out? And not only that, we talked about how Lunox, mobility-wise, escape mechanism is also very crucial as well. So Kaja-wise, yes, clearing wave is good, but catching off is still hard. But going into Indonesia right now, they clear off for the two last heroes. It's going to be Ruby with Alot.
Even though Indonesia doesn't have access to heroes like the Yi Sun Shin, because they have the Lancelot and Lunox together, that's already enough scaling to enable double fighter side lane. And since they know that Turkey wants to play pick-off with the Divine Judgment and Heart Guard, then just set up a lineup where it's very difficult to pick any single person off, and their team fighting and skirmishing is going to be very solid overall. The formation of their squad is a little bit difficult to pull off, but the team has the experience to do so.
But for the last hero is going to be picked off, Lapu Lapu for Team Turkey. Looking on the side of Indonesia drafting, I know for a fact that we are seeing a kind of well-rounded of hero pools lineup for Indonesia. Compared to Team Turkey, they had a really good pick-off from the three heroes to start off for the first pick. But then going into the second phase, I kind of feel like their response to Indonesia is much more like a desperation for, say, like, we need to shut down, we need to find a way to actually shut down some of the players from Indonesia. Kaja-wise, yes, you talked about how the clearing wave might be a good answer for it, but again, they don't have that capability to actually hold out the mobility that is inside the Indonesia team.
Yeah, that's the difficult part. You only have one Divine Judgment, and there's a lot of high mobility heroes on the opposite side now. Not to mention that despite both teams going for double fighter side lane strategies, Turkey is the one that probably needs to win early because they just don't have as much scaling in comparison due to this Angela mid lane. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is about time for us to kick off our second match of day one here at WEC 2025. It's gonna be Team Indonesia going up against Team Turkey.
Let's go. This is our second series, first round for our two teams. Best of three. Those who actually get 2-0 will move on to get the best points, and those who actually get the most point from their grouping will be the first one to go automatically to the playoff. But looking on so far right now, Team Food, they need to be very aware of Indonesia movement, right? Because we know for a fact, like, yeah, got Nora right here, trying to make sure that he'll be able to actually do some, at least straining away, stealing away some of the players' movement or dragging it into the corner so that Team Turkey can do some team fight or team damage. But is it going to be enough? Because Indonesia-wise, too much high mobility heroes in their hands. They have a way to actually just escape any ways that to be picked off by Team Turkey.
Now, we do have to highlight that Kaja isn't only a Divine Judgment bot. He does actually offer some utility in that passive off of his Ring of Judgment here, where he does slow down damage coming out from Team Indonesia. So if the fight lasts long enough, that could build up. But at the same time, Indonesia is perfectly happy to take longer skirmishes.
The thing is, right now, we see the difference coming in from Team Malaysia, right? They pretty much prioritize on fast-paced game. Indonesia-wise, they are kind of a little bit more strategic. Concha comes through, not going to get anything. Concha comes in, but still, they're just picking off a little by little, trying to actually tease away from both sides of the teams, whether or not Food trying to actually bait out, are they going to go in all out? Now Nora goes in for the front side. Vivian just backs off with the Taunt as well, and Heartguard comes through. Unfortunately, seems that Little might be engaged right here.
Looks like Vival's gonna jump back into it. Vival secures Turtle. Kujo goes down. City picks up first blood in the back line. They're gonna see if they can find anyone else, but Turkey will be able to back off. They'll cut their losses there.
I think pretty much we see that quite fast-paced fight coming in from Team Indonesia itself, and Team Food, they kind of try to play around with it, but ended up it goes into the favor of Team Indonesia. Now, Team Turkey somehow, I feel like they're playing by the cards or playing by the games of Indonesia movement itself, and even with Vival, couldn't actually be taken out or even try to be grabbed out. Again,
Nora's in trouble.
Yeah.
Darkening comes out from the taunt. Not quite enough to finish off the Kaja. You can see that the slowdown level 4 is really messing with Turkey's game plan.
Well, even from the start itself, Indonesia is pretty much playing by their own rotation, by their own game.
Oh, they get another taunt right into the AOG. Nora has no way of escaping, no flicker available. The rest of the team's coming here to back her up. Heartguard comes out, is surrounded. Vivian, a little bit too deep, gets punished for that. Looks like Unohana wants to chase down Cine as well. Still has the bravest warrior, jumps forward. Flicker comes out, final slash from Bumiyako, pushes them into the tower, chases down Zendaya, and finishes off the Angela.
That is such a clean fight indeed coming in from Team Indonesia. Great fight from the side of Turkey as well. They do somehow try to actually push forward, try to actually make sure that they will fight or try to actually make sure Indonesia comes into their hands. But ended up Indonesia had the better upper hand.
They did manage to turn that around pretty well, though. Indonesia initially got a great catch on Nora. Speaking of catches in the bot lane, they're trying to gank Fumieko. 3 people on 1. Hopping on the string, gets the lockdown in Arlen. No final slash. Fumieko not going to be able to sustain out of this one.
I think pretty much we see the gang up comes through, and Fumieko was actually playing off too much to a point that he thought that she could actually get away with it, but 3v1 definitely not in the favor of Fumieko, but good try comes out for it. But this is going to be the second turtle. Let's see if Team Food will have to save up.
Divine Judgment, they caught Cine. Brilliance comes out though. I'm not sure if that's the target they wanted. Here comes Bravest Warrior. Event comes out. AOG gets cancelled. Revitalize comes out. Cine not going to be able to survive though. Vivian does catch up in time. Unfortunately, Unohana a little bit too far forward, so the Lapu Lapu goes down. They get the CC in. Final slash only catches 1. Mieko just barely able to get away. The retribution already used on the Esmeralda. That means that Kujo might be able to go in for the steal. But Turtle gets reset slightly, and now the CC comes out on Hayabusa. Jumps back in. Kujo with the Turtle steal! And Heartguard keeping him alive just long enough. Unfortunately, Hayabusa does end up going down, and Mieko unfortunately falls as well. Vival picks up the double kill in return.
Oof. Great composure coming in from Indonesia. Such contest comes through, and in the fact that Team Turkey does have their respawn, but somehow it wasn't able to actually maneuver the casualty to the side of Indonesia. Now, looking on the side of economy-wise, definitely is in the favor. Even though with 1,000 or even 2,000 the lead for Team Indonesia, they have 2 items already built up for Lunox as well as Lancelot on the side of Team Food. However, it's still not that much of a gap. They still can be able to pull through if they can maintain the position.
So far, things are not too far off, but Nora gonna get caught once again. AOG comes out, but able to dash over the wall just in time. Kujo here as well. Indonesia not able to find that pick off.
I mean, they are forcing it just a little bit too much to a point that it's a bit risky coming in from the side of Turkey. So hopefully, they do not force it too much to a point that Indonesia gets the upper hand.
Yeah, definitely. They gotta be careful of that, but so far, I am seeing very good rotations coming out of Team Turkey. They know they're playing pick-off, they know they gotta play around Nora. The Kaja still hasn't died yet.
Kajas haven't died at all so far. It completely coming in from him, but then again, I feel like Nora needs to find a way to actually drag up at least one of the players in Indonesia so that it can be an opening for Team Turkey itself. And that's what they're looking for right now. No matter how much they try to actually push out Shell, somehow it's not going to be easy because Shell is guarding herself very well.
Yeah, good positioning there from the Ruby. Is aware of a suspicious movement from Turkey and knows that the Kaja isn't showing on the map. Unohana also going to be popping the bravest fighter but not catching anyone with it.
And the fact that Team Turkey again, just playing into the hands of Team Indonesia. This is going to be the third turtle for them to contest it out. So far, they're just picking off just a little bit, trying to actually tease out that turtle. And Team Food, they know for a fact that 4 players of Indonesia is already stacked up for the mid lane. One turret has already been still out. So far, Team Food, they still have a way to control this Land of Dawn.
Yeah, so far, the goal difference still not that big, which means that even though Indonesia are holding on to a slight lead, Turkey are not out of the game. Oh, I'm offended. Misses in the mid lane. Mieko, though, gonna be ganked by 3. Final Slash comes out. Mieko goes down. Bravest Fighter comes through as well, but Indonesia has already backed off and reset their position for the turtle. Now a 5v4 situation.
5v4 situation. Sohana trying to find a way, but Mieko comes through, but at the same time, Shell goes out to Nora.
Hard guard being considered. But Indonesia doing a great job of maintaining distance. Vival secures the turtle, and they're not going to force anything more than that.
They're not going to be able to secure more than that, but it's going to be enough for them, though. They'll be able to actually zone out every movement of Team Food to a point that Team Turkey doesn't even have a way to break off that rotation.
Yeah, but so far, still not the worst. The only hold on in the bot lane. Final Slash comes out. Kujo in trouble. Already takes the quad shadow. Not able to get out, but Fumi Echo dies to the tower. Zinni, though, making up for it. Flickers behind tier 2 to pick up Zendaya.
I mean, a little bit of diving composition coming in, but then again, still enough, though, to have that 2-1 in the hands of Indonesia. And now, pushing on through, they still have so much discipline coming in to defend that turret. But turret in the top lane, just a little bit more further if they can push in. And somehow, Chell somehow will be able to get the first turret right here at the bottom.
Indonesia slowly but surely building up their advantage on the map. They're aware that Turkey needs multiple players together to actually make anything happen. And that gives them a lot more freedom to play with.
Yeah, then definitely we see, like, again, the fast draft take coming in from the side of Indonesia, right? The gap of the economy-wise is not that much. 2,000 of the gold lane, that gives a lot of the itemization for Team Indonesia. But Team Turkey, again, they're quite disciplined on their rotation. They're quite disciplined on their own mechanism. That's how it gives them so much of an opportunity to just control this movement for Team Indonesia.
Some poking happening here in the river. Vival finds the kill on Mieko in the bot lane alongside Zinni, but that means Turkey knows they have the numbers here, but the AOG comes in! I'm offended! Sets them up! It's a double kill! For Fumi Echo as Indonesia bites back hard. 3
teams somehow was able to actually beat it off somehow, and now we're moving in. Seems that Indonesia will have the upper hand. Nuro somehow gonna go all in out for the Final Slash.
2 flickers gonna be forced out here just to get Turkey out of that situation. They lose their mid tier 2. Holy defense gonna be gone in the mid inhibitor as well. Indonesia instantly transitions to the Lord.
Transition to the Lord. The middle turret right now holding on to life. 1 lifeline left. Unless if the Lord marches in, it might actually opens the gates for Indonesia to infiltrate Turkey. And Turkey somehow started out really good to control composition, but now they started to falter just a little bit more.
And this is the concern I talked about. Turkey does need to be leading in the early stages because their late game just doesn't quite add up comparatively. And since Indonesia is already leading by a pretty good margin now, it's going to be very difficult for them.
It is difficult, definitely. And the fact that, yeah, you did manage to actually steal away the bottom lane for the turret itself, but Lord is going to march in. Right now, we do see for the players of Indonesia goes in for the top lane.
Bravest Fighter comes out. Hard guard can be used as well. He gets taunted in. Final Slash pushes them out as well. Revitalize can be used. Flicker forward. In trouble. Shell actually gets punished. Going too deep. Turkey finds 1 kill. Gets the stun on Fumi Echo once again. The cooldowns are running out on Indonesia. They're not going to be able to continue this. But Vivian re-engages. AOG comes in. Gets the knock-up on Mieko. But do they have enough damage? Here comes the Final Slash! From Fumi Echo gets 3! Sets them up. Zinni with a double kill. They find another one as well. Vival finishes off 1 more. Only Kujo left standing on the side of Team Turkey as the full force of Team Indonesia now pushes straight into the base alongside the Lord. Will Kujo be able to clear this up in time? Looks like the answer is yes. At the very least, they'll keep themselves alive for now. But Indonesia is still pushing in. Oh, Shadow comes out. Vival! iframe! Shadow kill! Survives Final Slash! Nearly gets the kill. Kujo going back in. Gets the pick off on Fumi Echo. But is it enough? The crystal is wide open. They're going in for it. But Team Turkey has held the line.
Oh, wow. just in the nick of time, the moment when they know for a fact only Kujo was the survivor that was able to actually defend it wise. The rest of the teams was able to actually spawn back and give back hope for the team of Turkey. Indonesia lost 4 players, but now they need to be more disciplined. It kind of opened a little bit of the door for Team Turkey to actually goes in for the turret, but is it going to be enough time though? They do go in for the invitation, they invade to get the bomb. Somehow, are being denied by Shell!
Yep, Shell can be pulled forward. Did manage to steal the purple buff away, but loses her own life in exchange. I don't think that's worth it.
Yep, that is so not worth it. Trying to survive it out, trying to make sure that at least the buff will not be seen by Team Turkey. But then again, it is going to be a reset for Team Indonesia. They've done a lot of damage already, getting up the opening for the middle turret as well, for the inhibitor turrets. And the fact that the top turret as well, just a little bit more, might be able to tease out to take down. And somehow, 3 players of Team Food looking forward to actually go in for a fight with Vival, but Vival already had awareness coming in.
Good positioning here. Team Indonesia so far has been able to move across the map with awareness that there could be a Kaja hiding behind every corner. Vival could be in some trouble here and be isolated from the rest of our team, but I don't think Turkey is gonna full commit to this because another fight is happening in the backline with Mieko.
The fact that, you know, they are trying to make sure that all the divide attention coming in from Team Turkey needs to be very aware, needs to be alert on every single situation that's done. And now they're moving in for the second rod as well.
Hard guard comes out once again on the Lapu. Lapu, Indonesia trying to fight this. Final Slash only finds one. AOG gets cancelled out as well. Fumieko is the first one to go down. Revitalize could not save her. And now the rest of Turkey is just pushing forward and making use of the heals coming out of Zendaya to keep themselves in the fight. But they've already run out of hard guard timing, and they do still have ways pushing. They can't continue this.
They can't continue this. No matter how much they try to actually find a way to actually push down to Team Turkey, somehow they were able to actually rotate around, try to actually negate everything that was done already. So Team Indonesia didn't find a way. Nora somehow going in for the front line and will be beat off with Unohana.
Divine Judgment once again on Shell. Instead of Shadow Kill, I'm Offended. Flicker gonna be used, keeping Turkey in place, but Hardguard comes out once again. They're going for the full 5-man fight. Nora dropping low. Phantom Execution misses. Zinni comes in from behind with the Darkening. Kujo in trouble. Vivian goes down, but they've lost their Hayabusa in exchange. They're now trying to keep Indonesia around. In the meantime, Shell is actually mid lane. Nora goes down. It's a double kill for the Lunox. But Turkey, you gotta keep an eye on your mid lane. There is a Ruby pushing into your base right now. Zinni goes down. It's a killing spree for Unohana, but the crystal is exposed. Turkey has left the back door open, and despite their best attempts to defend it earlier, it goes down to a simple backdoor play. Team Indonesia takes game 1.